Welcome to Mary McCorvey Experience Over Expectations podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Substack, and any place you find your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe today.
Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Luxury Unplugged Podcast. Today, our guest is Mary McCorvey. She's not just a Gulf War veteran, she's been a TV producer, a radio host, and she's a living memoir in motion. So, from being wrongly implicated in a murder at 17, she has also survived sarin gas exposure in Kuwait. Her life has been anything but ordinary, and she's been diagnosed with terminal pulmonary fibrosis and given 2 years to live, which she defied. She defied all odds and she rewrote her own story again. With having loads of experience in real life and professional, let's get on with this podcast. Welcome,
Okay.
Mary.
Thank you so much, Neeti, for having me. I
Absolutely, the
really
pleasure is
appreciate
ours.
it.
So, okay. So as far as your experience is concerned in terms of the stories in the radio world and the TV, tell us something about personal branding and how it has shaped your story, which has been in so many areas, not a linear life, as you say.
Yes, absolutely not a linear life. And I've developed a brand called Experience Over Expectation.
Uh-huh.
And the purpose of that is the tagline is let go of the plan and live life on your own terms. And that is the version and the journey that I'm on right now. And we have a book that's coming out in 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and we're very excited about that. And I have actually partnered with AI
Uh-huh.
to analyze my life. How about that? Yes. So the book is an analysis, an AI analytical version of my life, but also a guide for how people can let go of the plan and live on their own terms.
Wow. So how did this idea get into you that, okay, let me have AI analyze my life?
Well, I've written a memoir, and
Mm-hmm.
as I was going through it, I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was using AI for tools, for research, and I thought, I wonder if I put this chapter into AI, what it would say. And so the result of that is that we've used 5 different AI platforms in the analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And so the structure of the book is that the chapters are talking about me, talking about my particular experience, AI analyzing that experience, and coming up with ways to avoid expectations that are self-limiting,
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with tools that people can use to overcome those self-limitations. So, what I was getting out of AI was something that I thought was very, very interesting. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, I'm going to go down this path. And I did. And it's been very illustrative on many levels. So, AI not only analyzes the experience in my life, but it also analyzes all of the literature and resources that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the tools that it comes up with and the recommendations that it comes up with are not its own. It's based on science and fact in research.
Right, right. So in terms of the way you have been, into so many entrepreneurial ventures, how have you managed those kind of challenges, those kind of bootstrapping challenges that might have come up in your life? How did you overcome them?
Well, I have a cycle. It's not a plan, it's a cycle. And my entrepreneurism is goes back to many, many years ago. So I was born with the gene, I guess. And the cycle that I have is I come up with an idea captivates me. And then I decide whether I'm going to do it. And if the answer is yes, then I say, okay, well, I need resources, I need people, I need money. And then I execute. So that is the cycle that I go through, and there are thousands of decisions that are made within that cycle. All of them are intended to serve the company that I've created, or the project that I'm doing, or the course that I'm pursuing.
Hmm.
But that is the major cycle. That is for me, and that works very well.
Right, right. So the cycle, the process that you have mentioned is what perhaps everybody goes through in terms of their journeys. But you see, sometimes you are having those challenges in terms of finances, sometimes in terms of resources. You may not have the right bandwidth, you may not have the right expertise. How do you manage that if you are venturing into totally different area, which is like your, for example, in your case, you've been a TV host, you've been a radio host. Venturing from there to perhaps writing a book, how would you go about that change in the industries?
Well, I have also been in the software development industry, and I've also been in the experience creation industry. So the cycle still fits for me. But the challenges when they come are always, to me, a part of the experience and a part of the journey. So I'll give you an example of that.
Hmm.
I was creating an experience and documenting it in New York City, and it was a television program for CBS Sports.
Hmm.
And I had 6 weeks until the air date, and we were literally shooting on the streets of New York. And we had our sponsors who had funded this project on the site. And we had the president of CBS Sports call us and say, I'm pulling the show. And we said, okay, we have no distribution network. And we have sponsors that are expecting distribution from this particular network. So, what
Right.
is it that you do, okay, in those kinds of situations? One, you stabilize the situation. So, people are very concerned. And the
Mm.
next thing that you do is come up with the things that you can control. You gather those control points and you say, okay, I'm going to get another network. Well, Mary, you can't do that. It's months in advance that, yes, we can, we will. And so you have that those control points that you gather, and then you execute on them, and then you make decisions. You may have to pivot. You may absolutely have to pivot. But those are the ways that you go about handling the challenges. You identify what they are. Sometimes they're very unexpected. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not so good. And then you figure out what the control points are. You grab them and you run with them.
So beautiful, Mary, the way you've explained it, because you've just touched based on our certain aspects of our core theme, which is luxury blends with spirituality. So when you're talking about those control points, we are basically talking about something stable within you, right?
Hmm.
Which helps you stabilize the situation outside, take control of the things that you can perhaps control, and then delegate or get some help in terms of resources from outside,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you for a wonderful example right there.
Sure.
So, in terms of podcast and projects, how intentional are you in terms of shaping your narrative, and how do you go about unfolding it naturally? You explained it right now with one of the examples, but I'd really be happy to have few more examples.
Sure. So what's very important to me is that I have impact.
Hmm.
Things that are measures are of success for other people, maybe other things. But for me, I need to know that the heartbeats that I am investing in what I'm doing is going to have an impact. And I would like to say that my mantra is finite heartbeats, infinite possibilities. So that is my mantra. And
Hmm.
every heartbeat that I spend, The time that you and I are spending together, to me, is very mindful and it's very impactful. We can reach people with a message that may be beneficial to them. And so that is the measure of success that I use. Some people want to impact people one-on-one. For me, I've chosen a course where I'm able to reach many people, millions of people, and just like you. And how about the impact that we have? How we don't ever know the true extent of the impact that we have if we go down this particular path. But I can tell you that in the example that I just explained, the television show, the purpose of that show was to tell people stories of triumph over those that had overcome catastrophic injury, right?
Right.
And what happened out of that, an impact out of that, where there were so many people that contacted those athletes and said, thanks to your story, I chose not to commit suicide. Now, when you think about those kinds of impacts that you'll never know,
Hmm.
okay, you just will have examples of them. Those are the kinds of things that motivate you. That motivates me. Other things may motivate other people.
Absolutely. So, in terms of personal branding, and you also spoke about impact, what advice do you have for our audience who's trying to turn personal struggles into a powerful personal brand?
Oh, that's a great question, Neeti. That's exactly what I am in the middle of doing.
Uh-huh.
I am doing that.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that I write about in the book Experience Over Expectations
Mm-hmm.
is the power of the pause, right? The power of the pause, Pause.
Mm-hmm.
So, as an example of that, I had a very difficult experience when my marriage of 27 years failed. And I said, oh my gosh, everything that I had expected for my future was suddenly no longer there. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what in the world was I going to do? And the choice that I made was to pause and listen. And so the choice that I made, I live in the United States and I live on the East Coast. And I chose to move to the West Coast. And I spent 2 years there. And I started another company and it was very successful. But what that did was enable me to have some distance from what I was experiencing, some physical distance, being mired in the pain of the existing situation. I took myself away from that. And it enabled me to really connect with my spirituality and with my greater being and to understand and create what my next was going to be. So that's an example of how the power of the pause can really help with people that are struggling with their personal brand. And so I've gone on to create experience over expectation.
Beautiful, Mary. Well, thank you so much, Mary. Today we have limited time, but this has been incredible. Absolutely incredible episode. I hope that you come back to us for another long, detailed, intriguing experience and episode.
Well, thank you so much, Neeti. You have a great day.
You too, Mary, and thank you so much once again. So, and this is for my viewers. Like, that each episode is a journey into purpose-driven conversations with visionaries, creatives, and change makers. Keep coming back for more so that you don't only experience luxury in the word per se, but you also experience luxury in daily life, in the success stories that are in the making. Whether you're building your legacy or healing your story, this podcast is for you for inspiration, elevation, and transformation. Keep coming back. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Mary McCorvey's Experience Over Expectations podcast. Be sure to subscribe today on YouTube and Substack, or listen wherever you find your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.